I wanted to give viewers the opportunity to present their questions to me, so I chose the most interesting ones and answered to the best of my ability. I think you'll enjoy it. Why does the government steal mafia rackets by coming out with their own and make it illegal to use anyone else's but their own? Everything in life, whether criminal or not, is a racket. Taxes, the price of eggs and milk, gas, it's all a racket. The government just sets the rules, and like the mob, they break them. The next question came from a freelance writer at Soldier of Fortune. Do members train with firearms? And how well armed are the families? As far as firearm training, there is none. If you don't know how to handle a gun, then you shouldn't be near one. Targets in that life are up close and personal, so you don't have to be a crack shot. Every family has access to guns if needed, or at least they should. Some crews like to keep an arsenal just in case. Did you watch The Sopranos in full yet? I knew that was going to be one of the questions. I did watch season 1 and I did a review of each episode. Some people enjoyed it, but understandably, most people watched the series 24 years ago and don't want to listen to a review of it. I haven't had time to watch the other seasons, and hopefully soon I'll have more time and I might possibly watch it. When you go to prison as a wise guy, you leave your button at the door. But if a soldier mops the floor with the captain or above, any retaliation once both guys are out on the street? It's true. In prison, we're all equal. However, Cosa Nostra is not put on hold. As per the rules, you're not supposed to put your hands on another member. During my ceremony, I don't recall anyone ever telling me except in prison. If an incident like that does occur, it all depends on who the person is. And if he's a guy who brings it back to the administration when he gets out, then the mopper may get scrubbed. In the world full of tough so-called stand-up guys, where are the friends of a guy falsely being accused of an informant when he needs them? Why don't more guys nip it in the bud when rumors start about a close friend? Especially given that it happens over and over again, and everyone knows it. Not to mention stand-up guys like Bruno Fasciolo losing their life because of it. You would think more guys would have their friends back. Where's the honor in that? To put this into perspective, the short answer is it's easier to go against one than many. When word spreads that somebody's no good, naturally panic ensues. There may be some friends who don't believe it, but they're afraid to intervene. Should they speak up? Absolutely, but they never do. I remember one time the guys who were around Patty Della Rosa sat silently after I questioned them in front of him about something that Patty lied about. Not one of them spoke up. Who was looking at the ceiling, who was looking at the floor, but nobody would look at me. And these were the guys that I was with on a daily basis. And I lost respect for them as men that day. And I know they're probably listening now. And this is what I want to say to them. Anytime that Patty had any issues with any of you, what did I do? That's right. I spoke up and defended all of you. How does that make you feel as men? You were all associates then, and now you're friends. But know this, I know what you're truly made of. If a mob family shelves someone, they're telling you they don't want you in the family. So can you quit the mob if shelved? If your family shelves you, you're no longer recognized as a member, but you're not out of the mob. There is no quitting. When Stephen Cree attended the meeting where he was told about the new administration taking over, would he have had to have broken down to DeSantis, who paid however much by crew, and give details of the things he need to know going forward or not? First, Stevie wasn't told about a new administration taking over. He was given a letter by Vic explaining who he wanted to fill the voided positions. I personally wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know what Stevie discussed with Mikey. I'm sure at that moment, money was not at the top of the list. Reorganization was. In time, Mikey would have conversations with the captains who would let him know about what money was being kicked up. Do wise guys ever look down on somebody by his mob family, like the Bananos, Columbos, or Jersey guys? It depends. It's a backbite in life. Everybody's knocking everyone. But you shouldn't feel you're superior to a Banana or a Colombo. They're your brothers and your equal. Jersey guys were always referred to as farmers. I'd often hear, well, what did you expect? He's from Jersey. The next question was a lengthy one, basically asking about the current and future of Cosa Nostra, and how are they able to still recruit new members? The current state of Cosa Nostra is a weakened one. Aside from technology, the FBI has an abundance of sources inside each family and receives real-time information. According to the FBI, they have the most sources in my former family. I've mentioned previously, Mikey wanted to induct businessmen. Financially a smart move, but it weakens the family. For instance, a guy like Danny Campo, who Patty Della Rosa on more than one occasion described as a punk, who was an electric door salesman. Imagine sending a guy like that to a sit-down. Do you think he's taken seriously? Or better yet, Send them to threaten somebody. They know they could never use him in that capacity. So besides using him for money, he's useless to the family. And that's causing Usher's future, a severely weakened one. Did Johnny Joe Spirito speak with a Musso in prison about the beef between the Lucchese family and the Bonanno family, and the issue of his son inducting many of his guys without passing a list of names around? Or did Camerano work that out with the Lucchese family himself? I wouldn't know what they spoke about in prison because I wasn't there. And as far as that list of names that never went around, Joe C. handled that and supplied the names. Of course, here's a Johnny Sideburns question. I read somewhere that Johnny Sideburns was a captain at one time. Is this true? Also, is Big John still a soldier since he's been knocked down? And if so, what crew is he in? And why did he get knocked down for? Years ago, Johnny Bedanza was taken down from the captain position, and Sideburns was put in his place. So yes, at one time he was a captain. I think I've already mentioned, Big John was getting taken down before he even went to prison, so he no longer has that position. What were the exact reasons he was taken down for and what crew he's with? I don't know, and I don't care. Did it matter what part of the old country your family came from when becoming a member? It didn't matter. During my time, both your parents had to be of Italian descent, and it didn't matter what part of Italy or Sicily your family came from. What do you personally think the requirements or expectations should be for the perfect wise guy? How a member should act or present themselves? I think integrity should be first and foremost in any occupation. And as my grandmother used to say, the fish stinks from the head down. So if the leadership is breaking the rules, it all falls apart from there, whether it be the mob or a legitimate corporation. If a boss slaps or assaults a captain or a soldier, can you retaliate without impunity? A boss is held to the same rules and shouldn't be putting his hand on another member. I think any boss that conducted himself that way wouldn't be long for the position and may lose his life as a result. Yes or no? Did you eat at John's Deli and love the tomato salad in a cup? I assume you mean John's Deli on Stillwell Avenue in Brooklyn. I've never been there, but the food looks very good. Do you believe if the Lucchese's had a homeland faction, like Sicily, it would have helped with maintaining stability? Well, it definitely helped the Gambino family. The Sicilian faction brought all values back to that family, so I guess so. Does the Lucchese family have specific members serving as liaisons? During my time, we had Paolo LaDuca as the liaison with the Sicilian faction of the Gambinos. If a certain member has a good relationship with another family, they may use him to deal with that particular family. And this is common practice with most families. Are civilians taking the mob less dangerous and less willing to comply with extortion, loan payments, etc.? The fear that civilians once had definitely decreased over the years. Today, people may be less prone to being extorted, but if they borrow money, I think they know they got to make that weekly VIG payment. Was it common practice to have an associate involved in the drug business, or would a member be risking death to have an associate involved in drugs? What about an associate to an associate? There are some guys who knowingly have associates involved in the drug business. I don't think anyone's worried about being killed for breaking the rules anymore, as the rules are frequently broken. If an associate with you has an associate in the drug business, it's still a reflection on you, and you're responsible for him. What do you have planned for the future? It's a good question. I take life day by day, and I'm grateful for each new one. I guess I would want to concentrate more on writing, which I enjoy. I've turned down a few opportunities to do a book, so that may be in the future as well. And lastly, a question from a troll who asked something along the lines, it's easy to talk yourself up, but do you ever regret cooperating? And then he added something about people who would kill for me and exposing their darkest secrets. First and foremost, I believe the intelligent people will agree with me. I don't come on here and talk myself up. If anything, I leave a great deal out and I downplay myself. As for cooperating, there are many things in life that I reflect back on and I wish I've done differently. For instance, and this answers the part about people who would kill for me. If I could go back in time, I would give myself a swift kick in the ass when I decided to accept, because becoming inducted into a family is something a family offers you. So I would have gave myself that swift kick for accepting to give my loyalty, which I gave wholeheartedly with every fiber in my body, to the very people who I was warned about, that not only falsely accused me of being an informant, like they did to so many others before me, but to the people who sent two punks who ran away when I chased them while they sat on my house in a failed attempt to clock my pattern in order to hurt me. So when you say they would kill for me, I think you got it twisted. Those alleged friends tried to kill me. That's the darkest secret that they don't want exposed, what lowlives they truly are. And while I regret many poor decisions in my life, that decision my alleged friends made for me.